Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike. The United States war hero and top politician John McCain died on Saturday at the age of 81 following a battle with brain cancer. The senator's passing marked the end of an eventful 35-year political career that brought the independent-minded Republican within reach of the White House as the party's presidential nominee.
Six-term senator for Arizona and 2008 Republican presidential nominee John McCain has died. Senator McCain, who had been battling an aggressive brain tumor since July 2017, died on Saturday, a day after his family announced that he had decided to cease treatment. John Sidney McCain III was born on August 29, 1936, in the Panama Canal Zone on the eve of World War II, at the dawn of the American century, a time when the U.S. was at the peak of its political, military, and cultural power. He was a fighter pilot during the war in Vietnam. When his plane was shot down, he spent more than 5 years as a prisoner of war and went through extreme torture that left him with lasting disabilities. He married his first wife, Carol Shep, in 1965, divorced in 1980. Senator McCain remarried in 1980 to Cindy Hensley, and together they have 7 children. He's survived by his mother, who is 106 years old. He is perhaps one of the strongest critics of President Trump over the direction of the Republican Party and the principles it should embrace. Senator McCain rallied opposition against Trump's foreign policy, describing it as half-baked spurious nationalism, and tried to torpedo President Trump's peak to lead the CIA. There are a lot of reasons an Obamacare repeal failed. McCain's opposition was one of them. He first ran for president in 2000, and in 2008, he won the Republican nomination, only to see his hopes dashed by fellow Republican Barack Obama. Sadly, McCain never won the top political office. Senator John Sidney McCain III died at 4:28 p.m. on Saturday, 25th August 2018, with his wife Cindy and their family present. At his death, he had served the United States of America faithfully for 60 years. His family said he would lie in state in Phoenix, Arizona, and in Washington, D.C. before a funeral at the Washington National Cathedral and his burial in Annapolis, Maryland.
Tributes poured in from the U.S. and across the world following the death of political heavyweight John McCain on Saturday.
Far from Washington, D.C., on the shores of a Vietnamese lake, flowers are being laid for John McCain, showing how news of his death has rippled across the world. This is a memorial at the site in Hanoi where McCain's plane was shot down in 1967. Visited by US citizens and Vietnamese people alike.
He supported peace in Vietnam when it comes to the policies made by Congress. He is a peace lover. He dies leaving a sadness for everyone that supports peace.
Sunday has witnessed an outpouring of tributes for the former prisoner of war and political heavyweight, including from world leaders and former presidents. George W. Bush responded with these words: "Some lives are so vivid it is hard to think of them as ended. Some voices so vibrant it is hard to think of them stilled." Barack Obama praised his one-time election opponent's high ideals and courage, while Donald Trump, who had an acrimonious relationship with McCain, tweeted that his deepest sympathies and respect go out to McCain's family. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell described McCain's life as a bright example, defined by boundless patriotism and self-sacrifice. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said, "The nation is in tears." World leaders have also reacted to news of McCain's death.
He embodied everything that we respect and value and love about our American friends.
From new Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison to Justin Trudeau, McCain called a great statesman by British Prime Minister Theresa May and a true American hero by French President Emmanuel Macron. But the words that matter most coming from his wife Cindy. She wrote on Twitter, "My heart is broken. I am so lucky to have lived the adventure of loving this incredible man for 38 years. He passed the way he lived, on his own terms, surrounded by the people he loved, in the place he loved best.
Pope Francis has begged forgiveness for members of the Catholic Church's hierarchy who kept quiet about clerical child sex abuse. He is ending a two-day visit to the Republic of Ireland by celebrating a Mass at Dublin's Phoenix Park. The Argentine Pope asked forgiveness for the abuses in Ireland, abuses of power, conscience and sexual abuses perpetrated by church leaders. It is the first papal visit to Ireland for 39 years.
Nessuno di noi può esimersi dal commuoversi per le storie dei minori che hanno patito abusi, che sono stati derubati dell'innocenza o che sono stati allontanati dalle mamme e abbandonati allo sfregio di dolorosi ricordi. Questa piaga aperta si sfida ad essere fermi e decisi nella ricerca della verità e della giustizia.
We'll bring you more stories after this break. Do stay tuned.
That money we shoot every person that we know can shoot. We don't let people die there.
You could have killed me for a long period of time.
That time why I carry gonorrhea. I first go hospital first, but it no go. Now I come make that mama.
He just pulled it, he pointed and shot.
What is the soul of a man?
They suffer too much. They suffer too much.
Issues around the Nigerian police, we have to tackle it holistically.
Thanks for staying with us. News in the Hour continues. Emmerson Mnangagwa took the oath as Zimbabwe's president in front of a stadium crowd on Sunday after a divisive election as U.S. observers of that vote questioned the country's democratic credentials. The Constitutional Court confirmed Mnangagwa as president in a ruling released on Friday, dismissing a challenge by the man he defeated in the July 30 ballot opposition leader Nelson Chamisa.
I, Emmerson Mnangagwa, swear that as President of Zimbabwe, I will be faithful to Zimbabwe and will obey, uphold, and defend the Constitution and all other laws of Zimbabwe, and that I will promote whatever will advance and oppose whatever may harm Zimbabwe, that I will discharge my duties with all my strength to the best of my knowledge and ability, and true to the dictates of my conscience, and that I will devote myself to the well-being of Zimbabwe and its people. So help me God.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's newly sworn-in president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, vowed Sunday to open a probe into violence which followed the country's first election since strongman Robert Mugabe was ousted from power. He said, and I quote, "This is a different Zimbabwe, the dawn of the Second Republic of our Zimbabwe," end of quote. Away from that, we move on to Ethiopia, where we hear that the Prime Minister said on Saturday an election due for 2020 would be free and should not be delayed by his sweeping reforms to the African nation's politics, economy and diplomacy. Abiy Ahmed, who took office in April, has pledged to open up the state-dominated economy and has taken steps to end decades of hostility with neighboring Eritrea, moves that could reshape the country and the broader Horn of Africa region. He said on Saturday at his first news conference that the World Bank would provide $1 billion in budget support in the next few months, explaining that this is due to the reforms taking place in the country. Since winning office, Mr. Abiy has loosened the grip of the state that had ruled with an iron fist. He has ordered the release of political prisoners and decried abuses by security forces as state terrorism. Adrej Mahase's spokesperson for the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees has said that rebel violence in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is escalating inside the vast country's Ebola-hit North Kivu province, putting millions at risk. Forced displacement in this part of the country remains massive. It is estimated that more than 1 million people are displaced in North Kivu. This is the highest concentration of internally displaced people in the DR Congo. At the same briefing, Dr. Peter Salama, World Health Organization Deputy Director General of Emergency Preparedness and Response, said that the discovery of Ebola infection in the hard-to-reach part of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo could mark a pivotal point in the response to the deadly disease. The disease has killed more than 60 people and infected dozens more in recent weeks. Nigeria's third mainland bridge reopened after 3 days closure. This and many more news after this break. Just stay with us.
I actually moved back to Nigeria to open a bakery. This was my goal. And everything I did up till this point was in preparation for this. First of all, life was great because I moved in 2015 right before the recession, right? It was awesome. I was like, wow, there's so much money out here, man. The cost of overheads, power generation, water, you have to be your own local government. And there are no tax breaks. Many places where, where they realize the small business environment is difficult would offer some kind of tax breaks and incentives. We don't do that out here. We want you to come back. We want you to, to start businesses here, but we're not going to do anything to help you. All my experiences in the past have led me ultimately to where I am now.
The Lagos state government in Nigeria has announced that the third mainland bridge, which was temporarily closed for investigative maintenance test, has been opened on Sunday. The government, while thanking motorists and residents for their cooperation and patience while the closure lasted, said the decision to reopen the bridge earlier than announced followed the completion of the tests.
Commuters across Lagos metropolis can now heave a sigh of relief as the investigative maintenance test on the third mainland bridge is now over. It's been 3 days of work and the bridge is open 7 hours earlier than the initial announcement of the reopening at midnight today.
We want to say that for the 3 days operations that started on Friday, 24th of August, we started the investigative test and we have successfully completed the test.
I can announce to Lagosians and Nigerians that starting from 5 o'clock today, 5 p.m. the bridge is open and they're welcome to use it.
With the test concluded and analysis of the results to commence, more light is expected to be thrown on the current condition of the bridge. For now, it is safe for use.
We have done both static, dynamic tests. The tests will be analyzed and they were going to come out with results. It will take about 21 days, about 3 weeks then the test will be out. And then we'll know what actually we're going to do. Definitely we're going to replace some expansion joints. And we're still going to do further tests on the underground, the piers and the pipe caps to know the state where they are and know what to do.
As assurance have been given on the safety of the third mainland bridge, the Federal Director, Highway Bridges and Designs, Adetokunbo Shogbeson, also clarified that there is no cause for alarm on the Ido Bridge following the picture of a crack seen on it that went viral.
That bridge, the part that is broken is even pedestrian bridge. The beams, it has transverse and longitudinal beams, which are still in order. So the bridge is stable, and then there's no cause for alarm. Apart from abuses, what is broken is just for aesthetics, and it's just reinforced wall because the beam is hollow, and it's the walls covering the hollow that is broken, so there's no cause for alarm.
The state government and Ministry of Works has, however, apologized for the experience from the long winding traffic on Friday, as no one was spared maneuvering alternative routes. Normalcy is back again. For Plus TV Africa, Amaka Okoye.
Now, everywhere you look in Lagos, Nigeria, heaps of refuse with their accompanying stench are practically waving back at you. Sundays are no exception. Our correspondent Amaka Okoye again takes to the street to let us know what's going on.
This is Sunday morning in Lagos, and compared to other days of the week, there are no sanitation officers on site. Lagos is said to be the center of excellence, but this does not in any way depict excellence. The Lagos state government again has launched the Cleaner Lagos initiative, but the question is, are we feeling the impact? Everywhere you go, seemingly, there are pockets of dirt, and there seem to be the final destination, what environmentalists would call dark spots.
Waste management in Lagos has become a huge task due to the rising population, hence the need to introduce new operators with advanced technology to manage all types of waste and, more importantly, on a daily basis. Unfortunately, the refuse heaps and sites in Lagos are transforming into hills by the day, adding to more health hazards aside the environmental threat it poses.
I don't like it that they put the detail. So that because it's causing so many things in person body. Because maybe a corner.
Even in the midst of this dirt and smell, Vincent makes his daily bread from here while acknowledging the sight is appalling.
The bottle and all these things what they pick are just to part of cleaning the environment and keep Lagos clean. So now I pick and sell it out. About the dirt, you can't control human because everybody have his own thinking faculty, and some people have their own mentality of doing things. Some people now they get their own things of the way of thinking, say this is right, and they will do right. While some people they don't want to know whether not wrong or right. They just dump them anywhere they like.
Obviously, there is a need for the cleaning of Lagos State, the commercial hub of the country, to continue seamlessly, regardless of whatever day of the week it is.
For Plus TV Africa, Amaka Okoye.
The Osun State Police Command has arrested officers of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, who allegedly shot Tunde Nafiu, a 30-year-old resident of Iwo Town. Also arrested were 31 residents who joined the protest over the killing of Nafiu for allegedly touching the area commander's office in Iwo. The Osun State Police Commissioner Fimiha Adeoye made this known in a recent release by the Public Relations Officer of the command, Mrs. Folashade Odoro. Commissioner Adeoye said he personally visited the family of the deceased at their residence in Ilogbo to pay condolences on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Idris Abubakar. He strongly assured the bereaved that justice would be served. Up next is our business news. Business. The United States monthly crude oil import from Nigeria has fallen by 62.08% to 3.92 million barrels in March, from 10.03 million barrels and 10.34 million barrels in January and February, respectively. It bought 7.75 million barrels in April. This followed the upsurge in U.S. oil production in recent months, hitting 10.9 million barrels per day in June. That's according to the latest data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Still in business, a 2018 half-year performance review of portfolio investments in the equities segment of the Nigerian Stock Exchange has shown that turnover value increased to about 1.6 trillion naira from about 995 billion naira recorded in half-year 2017. However, the latest trading figures have major custodians and market operators on their foreign portfolio investment flows in 6 months published by the NSE revealed that value of transactions both by foreign and domestic investors dropped appreciably in June compared to May. The NSE reports revealed total transactions at the nation's was reduced by 41% from 318.27 billion naira recorded in May 2018 to 187.8 billion naira in June 2018. The Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers has urged the federal government to incorporate appropriate insurance policies into housing projects. The president of the council, Mr. Shola Tinubu, stressed the need to ensure the recently built ABD renovate houses in line with the constitutional provisions. He says this will go a long way to address the housing deficit, a serious challenge that any government should tackle headlong. Still ahead on Plus TV News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. In entertainment, pop star Wizkid has announced his latest collaboration, and this time it isn't with a musician but with Nike. The soccer crooner revealed through his Instagram handle a yet-to-be-released shirt with Niger Super Eagles and Wizkid designed in a circular fashion on it. According to the post, Wizkid himself designed the shirt in collaboration with Nike. Daniel Peterson III, the drummer at the age of just 15, has already played on world stages like the World Trade Center in New Orleans in the U.S., performed at the 3 of Nelson Mandela's birthday celebrations, and had the opportunity to play at one of the inauguration functions for former U.S. President Barack Obama. His love for music started at the tender age of 1 when he was exposed to music via his father's drum kit. His journey has seen him rub shoulders with many other artists, including the late Michael Jackson's drummer Jonathan Moffat, who he says is his inspiration. Dano will share the stage with other local musicians like drummer and composer Ayanda Sikade Ndudu Zo Mateni, alto saxophonist, and more. The artist will deliver jazz music on that day. And that's it on entertainment. The very best of sports up next. To stay with us. And in sports, 23-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams will be banned from wearing her black catsuit at the French Open in the future, as the tournament organizers are set to introduce a stricter dress code. The 36-year-old wore the catsuit in each of the first 3 rounds at the French Open in May. She claimed it helped her cope with the issue of blood clots, and the outfit made her feel like a superhero. One of her sponsors, Nike, reacted with a tweet saying, "You can take the superhero out of her costume, but you can never take away her superpowers." Williams is attempting a 7th US Open title when the tournament starts on Monday. The Turkish club Besiktas have confirmed the arrival of Liverpool goalkeeper Loris Karius on a 2-year loan deal. The 25-year-old was heavily criticized for his performance in the Champions League final, where he made 2 errors that led to goals in the 3-1 defeat against Real Madrid. The German made 49 appearances for the Reds since joining from Maz in 2016. The Reds signed Brazilian Alisson from Roma over the summer for a then world record fee of £67 million. And that's it on sports, and also rounds things up nicely at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us again. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Felicity Ezewike.